Do you kids like to use the worldwide interweb?
The internet?
We do. We know what it is. Well, there was an item published on the
Internet.
Marketing Tech Blog.
Hey, we're into Marketing Tech Blog. Doug, what do you have for us from
I heard
that
it's some big
blog?
news.
All right, so the first big news is that we launched our iPhone app. So
Yes.
and this will be available on other devices
Very cool.
soon. So, but if you go to iTunes Store and look for Marketing Tech Blog, you will find our app. You can download it. You'll be able to listen to the podcast, watch the videos right off of the application. So that's just really exciting because we had an app that we didn't pay a lot of money for before, and it lived up to its dollar standards.
Right.
This app was written by a company called StoryCode, who specializes in basically putting a user interface for a mobile device on top of your content management system.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so if you have WordPress or you have other content management systems and you really wanted a mobile app, these guys just specialize in that. Fantastic company.
Hey, Blog. Doug.
Yes.
I'm noticing something.
You can call me Blog for sure.
Doug, I'm noticing something here. I don't know the kind of caliber of people that you have on your podcasts. I'm noticing this because you have a podcast tab right there, so they
Yes.
can download everything. The guys that you had on this last podcast, I'm sorry, they're kind of shady.
Yeah, they are. They are, but they
Foul-mouthed.
beautiful people though. Aaron and John were on there, so yeah, we wanted to get on there and talk about the show because we've got a lot tighter integration now with you folks.
Excellent.
But we do get some biggies on there too. You know, we get Paul Dunne was on there, Jay Bear, Tom Ferensky, Susan Kane, Mari Smith. These are some big names out there that are helping big companies and small companies
Absolutely.
get through this mire of technology out there. The other thing that I want to talk about on the Marketing Tech Blog is there's a new term that's kind of floating around right now, and it's called social CRM. For anybody who realized what CRM was, customer relationship management, and it was basically a system where you could track your leads and you could track your customers. So Salesforce is a big one like that, and great system. There's a ton of them out there. But the new thing is calling it a social CRM, social CRM. And what we're seeing is that everybody's starting to use that term, but not necessarily supporting all of the major features. And one of the things, when you're thinking about social and then bringing it into a contact, is you've got to be able to take someone on Twitter, let's say, that you don't know their real name.
Right.
But you've got to apply it to a real name if you ever want to do business with them, if you want to email them or you want to market to them. So the real social CRM systems have these ways that you can ID people. And it's not scary. It might be that, John, if you did a tweet to Marketing Tech Blog and I had a social CRM system, I might come back and say, John, we understand that you had a problem. Click here, and we'd like to talk to you about it. Well, when you click, then you fill in your name and email address.
Right.
Boom. Now they can relate the two systems together. And social CRM is starting to take off.
Yeah.
Because companies are supporting customers a lot more through Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and everything else. So
Now, there's add-ons to this that I've seen before, like for your Gmail or your Outlook, that will actually plug in as soon as you get an email from somebody. It will plug into all their social profiles. And this is kind of the same thing, right?
To some extent, yeah, exactly. Like Rapleaf and some other companies do that.
You almost kind of triangulate that user.
Yeah, and what you're trying to do here isn't shady. What you're really trying to do here is build a lead list or a customer list and be able to market to that. So you want to collect all of the history, whether you talk to me on Twitter or Facebook or both, that I have that history of that conversation.
That's really important because I mean they're not really intertwined yet, and what type of communication you may have in one thread doesn't cross over. So
exactly. So social CRM systems have social monitoring, so you can set up alerts for your brand, for people, for products, and then you can create workflows with those. So if it's a sales, it routes to a salesperson. If it's if it's a customer service issue, it goes to support. It has campaigns, the ability to actually do outbound campaigning. So maybe if you asked a question and I answered it 10 days later, it automatically sends a tweet to you and says, hey, did we answer everything the way that you wanted us to?
Very cool.
Click here. And then, of course, robust reporting. But these systems are On the short horizon for enterprise customers, they're a little bit longer, probably a few years down the road for the small business, but they are starting to pop up. But be careful who's advertising what on these and how robust they are. And
the adoption is obviously, you're going to be going through testing environments, and business is already, they're adopting more so than ever before the fact that understanding the fact that consumers are right there, and they haven't been dialoguing with them before.
Right.
But now with the advent of these CRM tools, you're realizing that it's not just a social signal. That's not a brand that you're broadcasting out. There are customers out there that have an issue, and if you don't meet them, then the potential brush fire that occurs from that is huge. So
we always get surprised at, we have companies that come to us sometimes and they say, well, no, we just want to use social for marketing. And we say, yeah, but your customers don't care that you only want to use it for marketing.
They
want to talk to you.
Your customers, as soon as you pop up on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn, they're going to start talking to you. And how are you going to handle that influx of communications? How are you going to make sure? Because the sales guy, even if it's a sales guy that's out on Twitter, if I go to him with a customer service problem, he's got to handle that. He has to be able to take that inside, make sure he hands it off to the right person, make sure it's closed up on. Otherwise, his reputation is hurt. So these systems are becoming more and more important.
I got a question. So for the enterprise, the position in the enterprise company that they're in charge of the social networking, what companies are some good examples that they can actually trust to fulfill these needs? You're saying that a lot of them are throwing out I didn't know if you had any in mind that you thought that are good examples.
We did check out the author of the infographic that we were actually looking at for that was, and I'll show you, Avectra, Avectra, and it looks like they've got some good social CRM systems that are targeted towards some industries like nonprofits and things like that. But the advantage of going with, let's say, one of these big companies is you might not have to get 5 smaller systems.
Right.
You might not have to get like Salesforce. You can achieve it. Salesforce with Data.com, with Radian 6, with and all of a sudden you're licensing 5 pieces of software to kind of piece it together. A lot of these guys are popping up that literally you just have one go-to system that you're always working with.
Okay.
We were listening to another podcast here just recently, and it was an interesting little fact that it was not really a little fact, it's a big fact, is that consumers are getting to the point where they're expecting a response from companies sometimes within the hour whenever they're actually talking to a company.
Absolutely.
Inside of social media.
This could be 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean,
every time they're on.
It's amazing that it's going so far that consumers are dictating the time in which you're going to respond. Otherwise, I trash you. And there's got to be a little bit of a pendulum swing back to somewhere center, with the inclusion of social media. But it is, you have to pay attention to it. And if you don't have staff 24 hours a day, you need to have a tool that's monitoring this and monitoring what your brand is really looking like.
And you can absolutely say in the morning, hey, sorry, we don't man Twitter during the evening. I just got your message. Let's take care of it. They also included, I just wanted to say this, 5 ways to use social CRM that I thought were awesome to drive member interaction and relevance. One was managing the membership life cycle, so the ability to upsell and cross-sell and everything, increase participation via dedicated community, provide new networking models and opportunities, which is great, monitor the conversation, which is huge, and then automate and measure.
That's right.
Which is ultimately, when we have these 8,000 channels open to us now, we've got to figure out how to automate some of those communications.
Good information. You always want to check out these articles at marketingtechblog.com. It's invaluable information. You're listening to Edge of the Web Radio. We're coming back with good SEO and bad SEO.
You're listening to Edge of the Web Radio with Aaron Sparks. We're online with exclusive podcasts, the latest web news, and links at edgeofthewebradio.com.